This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Nice looking Friday afternoon. Boy, what a beauty right on through this evening. No problems around weather-wise. Cloud, sunshine, 68. Overnight tonight, some change coming in with light rain after midnight, 49. Now, that rain should be done tomorrow morning, probably before 9 or 10 o'clock. In the afternoon, cloudy, 69. And a good-looking Easter Sunday, sun and clouds, a high near 70 degrees. Rain Sunday night into early Monday. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stijik.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Are you a safe driver? Are you looking to save money? With DriveWise from Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. At Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Hey, I'm Miles Gray.
And I'm Jack O'Brien, and we want to tell you about our new podcast,
Miles and Jack got Mad Boosties, an NBA podcast from iHeartRadio. This is a weekly podcast about all the amazing moments that keep NBA fans coming back for more.
Basically, if you love basketball and you like to laugh, listen to Miles and Jack Got Mad Boosties, an NBA podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Professional women's tennis is coming back to Harrah's Cherokee Center, Asheville, April 15th and 16th. Tickets are on sale now at usta.com/BJKC. Get your tickets and see Team USA women's tennis in this exciting match, April 15th and 16th.
Do you want the best for your car? Then fill up with Premium at Circle K. Circle K Premium is our best fuel with double the cleaning detergent, protecting your engine from corrosion and damage so it can work at its best. And that, my friend, increases your mileage for more cha-ching in your pocket. Plus, when you fill up with Premium at Circle K, you can save up to 20 cents per gallon. Offer valid Thursdays or Fridays at participating stores. For details, visit CircleK.com. Circle K. How convenient.
Suffering from nagging joint pain or thinning hair or maybe both? There are now regenerative options that provide lasting solutions without surgery or drugs. This is exciting stuff. You need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn how advances in natural biologics can restore and repair damaged tissue in your joints and in your aging hair follicles. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in these exciting, powerful, and effective procedures. New natural treatments that require no drugs and no surgery. Use your own body to heal itself. People here living with pain from arthritis or injury are getting real, lasting results at QC Kinetics. So listen, if you have pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder, and you want to avoid the knife, call QC Kinetics and see how today's regenerative options can get you moving again. Imagine waking up with no more chronic joint pain. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. That's 333-9517.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. It looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Asheville's favorite street party is back better and earlier than ever. Downtown After 5, presented by Prestige Subaru, kicks off its 34th season Friday, April 15th. April features 2 local Asheville bands that will rock the stage. The Fritz, followed by Abby Bryant and the Echoes. There will be local beer on tap, and local food vendors will be serving up tasty treats. Join the party Friday, April 15th in downtown Asheville on North Lexington Avenue. Downtown After 5 is free and open to the public. For more information, visit ashevilledowntown.org.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports Mavericks guard Luka Doncic is out for Game 1 against the Jazz tomorrow with a left calf strain. There's also concern if he'll be able to play in Game 2. Doncic got hurt on Sunday. Tonight, a play-in doubleheader will settle the 8 seeds in each conference. First up, 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio, Hawks and Cavaliers in Cleveland. That'll be followed by Clippers and Pelicans in Los Angeles. Clippers guard Paul George is out after testing positive for COVID-19. And ESPN's Jay Williams already liked New Orleans in this game.
With CJ, he leads differently because those expectations don't come along with it, which I think will help to get the best out of Brandon Ingram. So with the way they play, with the way they defend, I definitely have to make Pelicans the favorite now.
Jay Williams on Bart and Hahn. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Colts will sign cornerback Stefan Gilmore to a 2-year contract worth $23 million. And Hockey Hall of Famer Mike Bossy has died. He won 4 straight Stanley Cups with the Islanders in the 1980s. He was 65.
We're back on Monday, less than 2 weeks away from the NFL Draft. I'll tell you who I would pick with the #1 selection. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Monday at 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices.
And a good Friday to you all here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on that live video link. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get in the chat with us. And nothing to vote on today, as we had our champion crowned yesterday in the most overrated bands bracket of, Bruce Springsteen taking home the title as the most overrated of all time. And now with that out of the way, everything shifts to the NFL Draft. We are less than 2 weeks away. We're 13 days away from April 28th, the first round of the draft, which will be covered live in the Sportsocracy on YouTube. And Jeremy Greene, as you heard on the Adam Gold Show with the fill-in host
Permar.
there, Hayes Permar. There you go.
I absolutely love him, by the way.
You messed me up with the whole Walker Hayes, Alvin Kamara thing.
Well, here's the thing. I'm running on nothing but caffeine. Like I have ingested enough caffeine in the last 48 hours that Keith Richards would look at me and go, "Dog, you gonna need to calm down.
Yeah,
that's not healthy.
You need some sleep." Well, good thing the weekend's coming up. Well, maybe some sleep will be in the forecast for Jeremy Greene. A whole lot of fun's going to be in the forecast for me, as my plans on Easter Sunday are to go and see for the first time live the Bristol Dirt Race. And it's going to be a night race this weekend at Bristol Motor Speedway. Going to be a whole lot of fun doing that. We've got...
that night, that's a word that's barred on this show for today.
Night,
nap, sleep, insomnia, anything that has to do with me closing my eyes for longer than blinking.
Okay, so no talking about golf. There you go.
The golf this week is at Harbortown, which if you can't score at Harbortown, you can't score anywhere.
Harbortown, is that next to Flavortown? Is that...
Who's shocked? Who's shocked that you say town and he immediately goes to Guy Fieri?
Yep, pretty much. No, of course I know Harbortown, down there in Hilton Head, South Carolina. I have driven by the place several times. Never been there to play because I don't play golf. But so you got a good scoring golf course this weekend, so should be some good golf as well. We got the NBA playoffs. Jeremy's going to give you his picks for tonight's play-in games.
Hammer. There is a hammer. I don't care how high this number gets. I do not care. On either game, I do not care where the number goes. This is one of those times that Vegas has to be sitting around going, well, this is not going to go good. You want to bet good, you try to bet good, and today you should bet good.
You got the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers at 7:30 tonight. I think we should all favor the Atlanta Hawks in that one. Cleveland has been on the backslide here, and it actually looked like there was a playoff team on the court the other night in the game between the Atlanta Hawks and the Charlotte Hornets. Unfortunately, the Charlotte Hornets were not that team that looked like a playoff team. And then we got the New Orleans Pelicans taking on the Clippers in the late game tonight at 10 o'clock, and no Paul George for them. So don't like that either. Now the New Orleans Pelicans making the playoffs without Zion Williamson How good can they be when he comes back? Ugh. Not looking forward to that.
There is nothing I want more than with all of the slights and the backhanded compliments for Zion Williamson to just come out Willis Reed style tonight with a Superman cape on like Daddy's home. Hey, I'll watch this. You remember what? You remember when they took me in the draft number 1 overall instead of John Morant? Let me show you why.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see if he comes up with another hangnail.
100% not going to happen.
No.
But, man, I wish it would.
But the NFL draft just 13 days away. Yes, the rumors are flying again with the Carolina Panthers and what their plans at quarterback are going to be. So we're going to
don't do it.
Yeah, it's every day. Every day we got a new story, and so we'll talk about that coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. We will talk about the big tennis event going on down at the Harrah's Cherokee Center, Asheville, as the Billie Jean King Cup qualifier is underway with the U.S. facing Ukraine. I heard that the opening ceremonies, boss man Brian Hall came back, told us that it was a great event. Billie Jean King was there. This is the first year that this used to be the Fed Cup. Now it's been named after Billie Jean King, and she was there for the opening ceremonies. He said there was rarely a dry eye in the house, as it was a very emotional scene because of the support that everyone in the U.S., or not everyone, but the smart ones of us are giving the Ukraine during this tough time in their country. Melissa Leavell, the marketing director for Ingles Supermarkets, supposed to join us on the phone from the event. And, if you missed today's activities, you can go tomorrow where there will be 3 matches of the women playing, and you can get those tickets at usta.com/BJKC. We know who's going to be at the draft, or at least in the green room for the NFL draft. In 13 days, they released the list today of the 21 guys that are going to be there. And actually, Carolina Panther fans, you might be interested to know that Kenny Pickett's name is not on this list. So that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
He's going to be shopping for little tiny gloves for his little tiny hands.
He was afraid of the handshake. That's what it was. He thought, as soon as I go up there to shake Roger Goodell's hand, everybody's going to go, oh.
He's afraid Roger Goodell would do that thing like, and just look down at it like, what? Oh, what? But no.
Right.
No.
Like that time I shook hands with Dwayne Shinsius and went, oh, I have teeny tiny little hands. But Kenny Pickett, not going to be at the draft. Now, he could just be hanging out at home or whatever. But maybe it's also a sign that him and his people have gotten some signs that he may not be drafted in the first round.
Well, this comes from the league. So basically they they only have the intel that they get from teams. If Kenny Pickett doesn't go at 6, there is, I would say, a better than 50-50 shot he doesn't go in the first round, which is the reason I have been screaming from the rooftops that Carolina should avoid him like he was on fire. But number one question when I saw this list, who's the last one? Who's the one that gets to play that fun game of nobody's left but me?
I believe it would be, I would say Devontae Wyatt would be on that short list for me.
He's one of the ones on the list for me.
Matt Corral would be the other one.
He's on the list, but I don't think it will be him.
And then there's George Karlaftis from Purdue.
That's my final 2 would be George Karlaftis and Nakobe Dean.
Mm-hmm. Everybody else I feel like has a great shot at going in the first round. Kyler Gordon, I can't see him really falling past. I think the last mock that I did myself, I had him going to Buffalo.
This is always a good truth serum because the league does its due diligence. They don't want things to happen like happened with Geno Smith where he has to leave because I'm not going tonight, and I'm really tired of that camera being in my face. Do you remember the Geno Smith draft?
I do.
Do you remember what happened when he actually got drafted?
No.
He wasn't there.
Oh.
He was sitting in his hotel room waiting on somebody to call because he had no idea how long it was going to last.
Oh, and then he showed up.
And then he showed up like 9 picks later. Hey, we're going to shake hands now like Geno Smith is the future of the franchise.
I do remember that.
Hey, you know what team did that? My team. My team did that.
Uh-huh.
You want to know why I'm such an angry person? Because I love the NFL draft, and my team doesn't do it so good.
Aiden Hutchinson, obviously, Kayvon Thibodeau, all the guys that are right there at the top. I think they're all on this list. I didn't notice any guy that we have projected to go in the top 10 that wasn't on this list.
No. They've done a good job.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see the big slide. If there was one that I'm a little nervous on, it's Karlaftis. I'm a little nervous on Nakobe Dean, too, because the narrative on him has shifted to such a point because he's so short.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of teams just look at this and go, he's too short to play Mike linebacker in the NFL. Now, do I agree with that? No, not particularly. It's just like George Karlaftis. I got it. First of all, next week, new segment, stupid things people say to me. I am all the way in on this. I've been going through YouTube comments. We've been putting out our perfect A+ mock drafts, and we've been getting wonderful feedback, some very informed takes. And then there's that like 5% where you go, did you think about that before you said it? Because those are always the ones that call me names or call me an idiot or say, you just don't know what you're talking about. And after about the 9th one of those, I went, I see a segment. I see an ability to make jokey jokes. And today we had a doozy.
Oh, did we? Okay.
You should probably use that Google box before you call somebody a moron when you have 7 complete fallacies in the thing that you send back to the idiot.
Ah, nice. Yeah, you always want to check.
Luke Fortner's a great tackle. That's where I went, oh, boy. Oh, that's not good at all. That's bad.
Tackle.
Yeah, he's
a center, right?
Yeah, he's not a tackle.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I mean, everybody's got their opinion, and it doesn't mean that your opinion's great. It's just, what's that old saying? We all have opinions, and they're like a certain part of your anatomy.
I've always said they're like vacuum cleaners.
Okay.
Most of them are terrible.
Most of them suck, I would think that would be the...
Well, I didn't know if I could say that or not.
Well, right. I mean, we're talking about vacuum cleaners here. It's not like that's...
it's not like you're being weird.
Too far. Exactly. Stephen Tao asks in the comments of the YouTube stream, you want to get in on that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're going to get some USFL betting picks. Come on. No. Come on.
No, If I start betting USFL games, I need somebody to house an intervention. Somebody in the comments said they'll be our baseball betting guy all the way in.
Yeah, because Jeremy doesn't bet baseball.
I'll take the Milwaukee Bears plus 1.5 points.
Points? Nice.
Yeah, I did it.
Good for you. Good for you. No, baseball betting, I don't understand it, and Jeremy just feels like it's useless.
It is, because everybody's always a 1.5 run favorite.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And it's always...
There's no skill to that.
And it's always like minus 110 for the favorite.
No.
Like
I need something like tonight where there's a line out there, and I'm looking at it going, I think you're doing this wrong.
So spicy on the baseball betting picks. So... I don't know that. Does the draft list, though, tell you anything?
Yes.
Okay. What does
this tells you? If a guy's on this list, it means he's not getting past 40, unless something just goes horribly wrong. The Laramie Tunsil gas mask video comes out. That will forever be one of my favorite moments in the history of the draft.
Yeah, 5 minutes before the draft starts.
I got that picture before it was put on television, and I looked at it and went, he's doing crimes. I feel like this is very poorly timed for you.
Right. It's like today I saw a whole bunch of people posting LaMelo Ball smoking pot videos, and I went, oh, well. I mean, I know we don't really care all that much.
I was about to say, I think
this generation, but I mean, it's still a bad look, right?
I don't care.
Well, I don't care either, but there are people who will care.
I have genuinely said that on a show before if that happened now, we would go, and? What, did he kill somebody off screen?
No, the biggest question would be, well, what state was he in? Because there are people who still care.
Yeah.
You're not among them.
I'm not among them. I'm rooting for a story. Not like that, but I want another draft that has a storyline like that. In my lifetime, there have been 3 of those. I remember when Minnesota forgot to make a pick.
Mm-hmm.
that was still pandalirium.
I was going to say, that had to be early in your draft.
Oh, I was
watching career.
I was very young.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember everybody going, wait, what happens now? The clock ran out, and Baltimore went, Terrell Suggs! And every team behind them went, well, we'll just do this now.
Right. Because that's how it goes. If you can't make your time slot.
4 picks in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Never. That is a record that will never be topped.
No, because we have to wait for the entire clock to run out, though we all know who you're taking.
Not this year, you don't.
Yeah, you really don't. I mean, even at number one, there's still confusion as to who's going to go number one overall, despite all of the signs pointing to it's going to be Trayvon Walker, because that just seems to fall in line with what Trent Baalke does. Trent Baalke falls in love with these hyper-athletic defensive linemen. You go back to DeForest Buckner. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But Solomon Thomas,
hey,
he was in that list as well.
Jet. You lay off Solomon Thomas. My guy.
I'm not saying he's not going to work for your team. I'm just saying this is their I mean, he has a laundry list pretty much of guys that he has probably taken too high, that the industry felt like was too high, and that's how Trayvon Walker is going to be as well. Because you still have people who don't believe.
Well, it's now the first pick is down to Aiden Hutchinson, Trayvon Walker, or Ike Ekwonu. The only one you're getting tremendous value on is Ekwonu. You can get him plus 1,100, and that is too high. Now, if you listen to me, you had Trayvon Walker at plus 2,200, and whoever you wagered it through, they've already paid you off to give it back.
Right.
We really don't want to give you 20 times your money. Can
we
have that for 5?
Would you do that?
Yeah.
Really?
I'll always take free money.
Okay.
See, now that's the degenerate in me, though, is I would wait for it to get worse. I would get 7 times my money and then take it at plus 300 and go, I can still get you.
Ah, I see what you're doing. See, you play the long game on these things, and that's what I respect about you. Always looking to take the house's money.
Yes.
So
always trying to beat the house and never trust the government.
Right.
I need that on a shirt.
Never trust the government. God. We had a discussion about that today. A lot of people angry about the fact that at Bristol this weekend, you can't do anything paper. There's no cash. Everything is going to be paid for by card, and there are no paper tickets. And you have all of these older NASCAR fans who are just up in arms over the fact that you can't do these things. Guys, get into the...
genuinely could not tell you the last time I had cash in my hand.
Right. And somebody threw out a stat. I don't know if it's correct or not, but it kind of baffled me that 11% of people in the state of Tennessee do not have a bank account. I don't know if that's true.
Right. That sounds about right. No, I mean, not. That sounds like I'm taking a shot at people in Tennessee, and I'm totally not. That's your thing, not mine. I reserve that to Florida Gator fans, and there's a few others.
Right.
Myself. That doesn't surprise me. You could literally, the U.S. government could stop circulating cash. I wouldn't know it for 9 months.
Mm-hmm. That seems like a high number to me. 11% is a lot.
If you're watching us on the YouTube stream, I want to prove a point here. I have 7 credit cards, debit cards, plastics. I know 0 of their PIN numbers. None. Not a single one of them. And you talk about something that will give me great anxiety. When I run that card and that little thing pops up that says enter your PIN number, and I'm like, uh-oh. We're going to have that everybody behind me thinks I'm a broke homeless guy because I got a big old beard and a mullet and decline my card because I don't know the number.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we just run this as credit?
Yeah, okay, fix that. All right, everything's credit. Stop with PIN numbers.
Wait, 7 of them.
Yeah, and I don't know a PIN number.
That's
what's real fun is when I have to guess them, and everybody behind me feels like I'm buying lottery tickets. Like, I hate you so much.
Well, the NFL draft at this point feels like a guessing game. Nobody knows who's going number 1 overall. You go to number 2, and is it going to be Aiden Hutchinson? Is it going to be Sauce Gardner? Is it going to be Drake London? Everybody's got their opinion. You want to see what the perfect mock draft for your team looks like? All you got to do is go to the sportsocracy.com and go to the YouTube channel, and we are rolling all of those out, team by team, A+, perfect Chris Farley mock drafts coming out on the hour, basically, throughout the weekend in the Sportsocracy. When we come back, we got some great news for Tar Heel fans.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, some unsettled weather cruising into Asheville for the weekend ahead. It's been a pretty Friday, but now that we're into Easter weekend, it looks like the clouds get the better of us tonight and some rain showers tomorrow and Sunday. Our temperature down to 50 degrees for tonight with increasing clouds. Rain showers around Saturday, some quarter-inch rains, high 68, low 47, and then some rains possible late Sunday, high 69, low 45. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by COVIDclinic.org. No trip planning is complete without a visit to COVID Clinic. With multiple locations, there's one nearby with the quick and convenient patient testing you need to keep everyone around you safe. Find a location in your area at COVIDclinic.org.
This April, Dork Racing's toughest gladiators come together in the last great Coliseum for a battle unlike any other. The World of Outlaws Bristol Bash.
3 cars racing for the win on the final lap.
See World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink, Sprint Cars, and World of Outlaws Case Lake models collide for one massive weekend. April 28th to the 30th at Bristol Motor Speedway. Do not miss this chance to be part of history. The World of Outlaws Bristol Bash, April 28th to the 30th. Be there.
Hey folks, DG here. Y'all know I've always loved the slogan, Smiles Change Lives, which I first heard years ago from Dr. Rebecca Merrill of Asheville Smiles. I hope you will live that slogan here in 2022. Whether it's just time for a routine cleaning, you want to learn more about Invisalign, a great alternative to braces, you need a diagnosis and treatment plan, or if you don't have dental insurance, you just want to learn more about her special membership plans. 828-251-2426 or AshevilleSmiles.com.
If you've been losing the battle with your weight for a long time like I have, I mean, it's been practically since birth. The folks at PhD Weight Loss, they can help you win that battle. I have been doing the PhD weight loss program now for just over 4 months, and I've lost 53 pounds. My pants don't fit. My belt don't fit. I got 2 shirts that fit just about. I got to go buy some new clothes, man.
I was about to say, are you going to borrow shirts from somebody, or do you just reserve that to pants? I am personally wearing new pants, not someone else's, because like Tank, I am losing a tremendous amount of weight. I have always had sleep issues, and I got in this shape because of convenience. Well, the great thing about this plan, it knocks them both out. The food is convenient. I'm sleeping better. And my new pants that don't belong to someone else are fitting much more nicely.
If you want to have that problem, all you got to do is go to myphdweightloss.com. That's myphdweightloss.com.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year. Help police by not escalating. Address any complaints after the encounter. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. Learn more at nationalpolice.org.
There are so many words to describe Panera's new Chef's Chicken sandwiches. The chicken, juicy, succulent, seared. The brioche roll, buttery and toasty. The Parmesan crisps, crunchy, tangy. The secret aioli, creamy and rich. All those words, but when you have a bite, you might just be left speechless. Panera's new Chef's Chicken sandwiches. Enjoy $1 delivery fee when you order on our app. Restrictions apply. For details, visit panerabread.com/delivery info.
At Ingles, we know your closest companions are the ones who are always there for you. The ones you trust to have your back, no matter what. Who make the hard times a little softer, and the good ones, somehow, a little better.
This week at Ingles, select sizes and varieties Kellogg's Townhouse or Club Crisp crackers, 2 for $5. Select sizes and varieties Starbucks coffee, $7.98 each. And select sizes and varieties General Mills cereal, 2 for $5. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Good news, Tar Heels fans. We got 2. We got 2 of them already committed to come back for next year. It's been the one thing that we've been talking about since they lost in the national championship game to the Kansas Jayhawks of now it's redeem team time. Remember the 2016 championship game with Villanova, and everybody went, you know what, we're doing this. We're all coming back, and then came back in 2017, won the national title. It looks like it could be happening again. I know there's still one big question that everybody wants to know. What is Caleb Love going to do?
Caleb Love is not declare. I mean, he might declare and test the process. He's not going to like what he hears.
I believe so as well. Armando Bacot was the first one a couple of days ago.
Bacot was the one that had the potential to be a back end of the first round guy. Somebody would have had to have fallen in love with him, but it could have happened.
I feel like Armando, he is going to be best served by coming back, and obviously he has already made the decision that he will be returning for his senior season. And today, Leaky Black announced that he is going to come back for his super senior year with the extra year of eligibility because of the coronavirus pandemic. He will be back, and now it's all about Caleb Love. Will Caleb Love return? Because I don't feel like R.J. Davis really has much prospect of going in the draft.
He's another one that could test the waters, but I don't think he would actually leave his name in. To me, now this is, it's G.G. Jackson going to do. He's the number one player in the 2023 class. He plans on reclassifying into 22, and it's basically down to Carolina and Duke.
Okay.
If it's Duke, I got news for you. That is going to be the most ridiculously talented team you've ever seen. And the oldest player that will play minutes will be 20 years old.
Well, hopefully G.G. Jackson will come to Carolina.
And there are a couple others still in, but it seems like that it's down to Duke and Carolina.
Right. But I feel like I felt like there was such a question about all of these guys when it comes to going to the next level. I think Caleb Love's going to be a pretty good NBA player in the future. You don't think so?
No, because he's two-guard. And I think he's made that very, very clear, and he's very short to be a two-guard.
Okay.
I mean, he'll have an Eddie House-type role in the NBA, and that's what I think they're going to test. That's the reason I've never really worried about it, is as time has gone on, the things I hear from the advisory committee of this is what we told the guy. Whether he listens or not, that's totally up to him. And there are guys every single year that don't listen.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I've heard on him. Is you can expect him to be a third guy off the bench that's just instant offense. And that's what they expect him to be. That's a 45 to 60 in the draft.
Hopefully Armando Bacot, if he can add a jump shot, I think that would be the one thing that would everybody in the NBA would go, okay, now he's a first-round draft prospect.
Well, the announcement today that Leaky Black is coming back, I think, is also very large because he's the defensive enforcer.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be is it super senior?
Yes.
Is it super senior plus now? I mean, we add plus to everything. So
right.
Him coming back changes a lot.
Yeah.
And now you've got RJ, Caleb Love, basically the entire team minus Manick.
Mm-hmm.
Puff Johnson will, I believe, have a bigger role next year. The two, Trimble, and I can't remember the other kid's name.
Yeah, I could have told you if you hadn't asked me.
Jalen Washington.
Yeah.
And then if you wind up with G.G. Jackson, now you got an 8-man rotation that's rather formidable.
Right. Guys have already decided to go into the transfer portal. I know Anthony Harris said he wasn't coming back. He's going to the transfer portal.
Dawson Garcia
as well, which, wished he could have stuck around for a little while, but, his family issues are going to take him elsewhere. And best of luck to the kid, but the important thing is that we get the so-called Iron Five, minus Brady Manick, who has no eligibility, to come back.
Mulleted, man. I mean, losing a mullet's always a bad thing. And you know what? Carolina, if you need a mullet to come in and just get up some J's, I know a guy.
Oh.
And
you
he's got
yourself?
And he's got a big luscious beard. Now, don't expect much on defense. More than 6 strips up and down the floor, you're probably going to need a paramedic close by.
Mm-hmm.
But I do still have that, still got that J, and I got that mullet as well. So,
oh, you do?
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
You've been practicing the J?
I can still shoot. I cannot run. I can't make 2 trips up and down the floor without literally seeing dead relatives, and I'm this close. I am on the brink of death.
I feel like I would much rather see Puff Johnson out there puking on the court rather than you.
Oh, 100%. Oh no, I would be the we're up by 40. Let's bring in because this dude's going full on 3 steps over half court and bombs away.
Holy cow! Look at that defensive tackle trying to play college basketball.
We got a D lineman out here with a sweet mullet and a nice J.
All right, let's get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
You know, you always feel good when you make an I don't know, a purchase that doesn't go your way. And then they go, you know what, we could take that back. And that's exactly what has happened with the Tom Brady last touchdown ball that sold just days before he decided to come back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for $518,000. Now the guy who, you know, the consignor, the auction house, and the buyer, obviously, have all agreed that that sale will be nullified. That it ain't worth $518,000. It probably wasn't when you bought it, but definitely you can cure some ills here. I feel like that's how the Charlotte Hornets probably wish they could do with Terry Rozier's contract, but
there are a lot of people that feel that way.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of, especially in the NBA. You give somebody the check, and as soon as it gets out of your hands, you go, can I have that back?
Well, we just set that money on fire.
Now, I heard this story earlier. Now, let me play devil's advocate.
Okay.
I never even insinuate that someone's going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So I always come up with a weird way that this could happen. Let's say that Tom Brady starts an avocado ice cream Ugg boot company, and he doesn't play another game. You realize that ball's worth about 3 times what he paid for it, right? If you do the retirement tour and then it gets pulled back and this thing's been talked about that much, it's going to be worth a ton. That's the reason the auction house unwound this. There's a 0.1% that happens. Well, let's say he didn't throw another touchdown pass. It's worth 3 to 4 times that.
My question is, what happens to the ball now? Is the guy who bought it, does he get to keep it? Does he have to return the ball to the
auction house will the auction house will take it.
Okay,
and
so
they'll put it in a back room and wait for him to throw another touchdown pass.
And now they go, here's a Tom Brady touchdown ball and $1,000. You got it.
And then once he throws one more touchdown, they're going to look at this and go, wow, this is the most expensive, worthless football in the history of creation.
No, it's still worth something.
Can we give this to Elon Musk and let him fight crime with it in a Batman suit and see if maybe we can recoup some of our money?
Something special has to happen to that ball. I feel like they got to call Tom Brady and get him to at least sign it.
Well, him
or
signing it's not.
something.
I mean, he doesn't sign much, but it won't recoup what you're into that ball for.
Oh, no, not at all.
Ironically enough, my Just About Outside story is also about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, okay.
And financial purchases. Floyd Mayweather Jr. was on The Pivot, which is apparently a podcast, which I had never heard of. And he has an interesting wager for NFL teams. He wants an NFL team to sign Antonio Brown. And if he does something lunatic-ish, i.e. quitting on a team in the middle of a game, freezing his feet off in a cryo chamber, pouting about his helmet, I could keep doing this for longer than you think. He will reimburse the team $20 million. But if he makes it all the way through a season, the team has to pay them $20 million.
They have to pay Antonio Brown?
No, they have to pay Floyd Mayweather. This is a Floyd Mayweather bet.
Okay.
You take him, he does something crazy, I will give you $20 million. But if he doesn't and he makes it all the way through the season, you got to give us $20 million.
Which then he is going to split with Antonio Brown.
Oh, I'm sure he would.
Right.
And I guarantee you he'd be like, listen, I know you are out of your mind. I need you to be on your best behavior for 17 weeks.
Do they have to sign him for actual dollars?
Yes.
Can we sign him for $1?
He has to be on the roster and active.
We sign him for the league minimum. And then there's $20 million riding on whether or not he does something stupid.
And my first thought when I read this was, man, Floyd Mayweather just hates his money. I mean, he just absolutely hates his money. Like, how can I set $20 million on fire? I don't care what you offered Antonio Brown to not be a crazy person. Couldn't do it. If I was an NFL team, I would take this bet and go, I'll go double or nothing, that he doesn't make it through camp.
Without doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got 5 months of offseason.
Like, he threw a football at a ball boy, or I'm just waiting for that to happen.
And basically, it's anything like that would deem him not worthy of being on the roster. So anything that they had to eschew him.
I'd just be making stuff up.
I don't think you'd have to.
You don't have to.
I don't think you'd have to.
Huh.
Antonio Brown froze his foot off in a cryo chamber.
See, this is just Floyd Mayweather sticking up for one of his guys.
I just want to know why you would ever hate your money this much. Floyd Mayweather is probably the only person in the world that I think has more of a gambling problem than I do.
Well, difference
he strikes me as the kind of guy that
has the money for it.
Oh, yeah. He strikes me as the kind of guy that's sitting at a book in Vegas like, hey, what is that sport? It looks like baseball. But it's not because there's no bases. Well, that's cricket. I don't understand it. Give me $1 million on that team. Which team is that team? I don't care. You pick.
Yeah. Just
you pick. It doesn't matter.
Nice.
Just need a little juice on this.
We'll just throw a dart at a board and see what comes up. Give me $1 million on it.
I have wagered more than $1 on a cricket match,
which is ridiculous to me. I mean, unless you had inside information and like true inside information, like you knew somebody was throwing the match.
I had a guy.
Yeah. Right.
Not that somebody was throwing the match, but I had a guy that actually understood the sport.
Because there was a guy recently. There was a story about that recently. Like some big cricketer was, caught throwing matches, basically.
Sad thing, that's not the worst thing I've ever wagered on.
Russian table tennis?
No, worse.
You got to tell us.
It's the Westminster Dog Show.
Why did you do that?
I had a guy.
You had a veterinarian friend who was like, hey, that Mastiff, he's going to win it all.
No. There was a dog that there was no shot that, literally, unless the dog just decided to lay down in the middle of it, there's no shot he wasn't going to win. And he did.
Was he built like Hercules?
No. It was just a very quality dog.
Was it anything close to the dog that Coach K got for a present?
Oh. I did the Adam Gold show before this, and that was one of the questions. Don't ever give me a gift that I have to keep alive.
No.
I don't care if it's a houseplant, a dog, flowers, a Tamagotchi. I am bad at this. Just no.
My only thought when I saw this was everybody's like, oh, look how sweet. They got him a puppy for his going away present. I'm thinking,
did you hate me?
Like, does Mike Krzyzewski, did he say this to the guys? Like, is that a thing? Like he was talking about, I can't wait till I retire and get a dog and just sit on my front porch and do nothing.
That's got to be a sweet life.
Oh yeah,
being Mike Krzyzewski's dog.
Oh, no
that's
doubt.
A sweet life.
There's no doubt. You eat you eat the best foods that come out of that pet food test taster job,
and you can piddle on a lot of things with Duke logos on it.
Oh, that was
the
my best part.
That was my first thought.
Good for you. That's points.
Okay, I'm a puppy. I'm supposed to.
Wee. No, I feel like that would be if Mike Krzyzewski didn't want a dog, he's going, oh great. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. What the? Now I have to be home. Now I have to take care of this thing. Now I have to train it.
Yeah, don't buy me a dog. Don't buy me a fish. Don't if it has to be kept alive.
A fish.
I barely keep myself alive. Okay, if it wasn't for HWA, I would have been dead a long time ago.
Yeah.
So we don't need to entrust me with the life of any living thing.
Not only is fish one of the most overrated bands of all time, but fish are one of the most overrated pets of all time.
It's also a very overrated entree.
No.
If you invite me to a dinner and serve fish, we're gonna fight. Like.
Really?
No.
It doesn't depend on what kind of fish.
No. Unless it's mahi-mahi.
Fish.
Mahi-mahi's fine.
Okay. But if I'm like frying catfish or something, you're out.
The bottom feeder, gross, nasty
fried
fish.
Catfish is one of the best.
Gross. Gross.
You're
and
weird,
if you
dude.
throw tilapia? Eddie Fox has broken my brain on how I say things.
Tilapia.
I said pistachio the other day, and literally every word that has come out of my mouth, I'm like, But it's not, though.
It is. It's pistachio.
But it's not, though.
Pistachio. You don't call it a moustache. I mean, you do to be funny.
100% I do call it a moustache.
But you don't just in regular conversation.
It's a sweet moulet. It's a perfect moustache. Yeah, I do.
You have to do that underbite thing.
Kelvin Joyner in the comments said somebody should buy me a bird. Why? Do you hate this bird?
Right. Because it would die.
No. I wouldn't kill it.
No, you just let it out. Just, here you go. Best of luck, birdie.
No.
Gone.
No. I wouldn't do that.
I was trying to work
I
up.
would probably investigate it as the drone for the government that I knew it to be.
I was trying to work up for the longest time a prank where I would show up like super early to Jeremy's house. I was gonna get HWA in on this, where I would show up early one day when we were recording from the bunker, and I would just surround his house by bird feeders, and just see how, because he lived out in the middle of the woods. You know, when you do that, he's going to get just mobbed by birds. And she wouldn't let me. She said you would kill me. And I didn't like that outcome.
Nope.
I didn't like that outcome, not nary one little bit. The Indianapolis Colts made a deal today with Stefan Gilmore. 2 years, $23 million. And obviously, you know, it's a good pickup for the Indianapolis Colts. But how much of a difference does that make in their season? Well, apparently somebody's run the numbers and found that now the odds of them winning the AFC South Division Championship went from 59.4% to 65.5%. Does it really make that much of a difference that Stefan Gilmore is on this team now?
It helps. I was very surprised that that's how this went. I had heard it was down to Buffalo, Cincinnati, and the Raiders for the longest time, and then Indy just swooped in and went, nope, we have all the monies.
Right.
I just don't understand how he fits in Indianapolis. If you look at how Gus Bradley has played defense for as long as I can remember, that's not what Stefan Gilmore does.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked him way better with the Bengals. But I will say I do think the Colts are going to win the AFC South.
You thought that before this.
I did. Because Matt Ryan is greater than Carson Wentz.
Yes, he is. But I don't feel like that team is greater than the Tennessee Titans.
Okay, who's better defensively?
Oh, it would be the Colts, I guess.
There you go. Who runs the ball better?
Yeah, I think that one's close.
It's very close, but Derrick Henry is also the. If you told me one of them got hurt, which one would you lean on?
It would be Jonathan Taylor, because Derrick Henry got hurt last year. So it's Jonathan's turn.
Oh, so you're doing the everything's fair and balanced. It's your turn now.
I mean, if you're a running back in the NFL, I mean, is it not just a matter of time before you get hurt?
Now, look, I still think Tennessee's they're a borderline playoff team, but I really like Indianapolis.
Yeah, I still feel like Indy. I don't feel like much has changed. I mean, it's going to be a close race, closer than it was.
That defense is really good now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really good.
I mean, you got Yannick Ngakoue now in the trade, so you got some extra pass rush there. And now with bringing in Stefan Gilmore, it obviously helps out your secondary. It helps out that loss of
you got to think
Rock Ya-Sin.
Think about how successful Matt Ryan's been in his career.
Mm-hmm.
What if his team's never been able to do? Ever.
Defend?
They've never been able to run the ball to save their lives. And they've never been able to play dead in the Western on defense. This will be the first time he's ever had either one of those things. Oh, please tell me who.
He had who?
Who?
Turner?
Michael Turner, who was 5'7".
Yeah. He was one of the top backs in the league.
For 1 year. And that was like Matt Ryan's third or fourth year in the league.
Right. I'm not saying he had it often.
Out of Northern Illinois.
There was a time where he had a running game.
Oh, that's back in my amateur ability to grade talent, because I just loved Michael Turner, and then he just faded into thin air.
Just disappeared. I do believe that this is the best team Matt Ryan's ever had.
I would agree with that.
And if he's gonna do anything with it, if he's gonna lead a team to the promised land, it would be this one. I just don't know if he's got it left in him.
And see, that's what's so funny to me, is Atlanta has been so bad since the Super Bowl run, that I don't think you could possibly know that. Matt Ryan has not been the problem with Atlanta for the last handful of years.
No, and I'm not saying he has.
Carson Wentz was the problem with Indianapolis last year. The transitive property says, I'm in drastically better shape than I was.
Look, I have a quarterback who's 100 years old. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady, I feel like he's a little different. I'm not saying Matt Ryan's completely washed up at 36 years old, because we all know that's not the truth. I mean, when he had weapons, it hasn't been all that long, right?
Not all that long.
I mean, when Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, I mean, they were still putting up yards. They just couldn't stop anybody.
And this team's not going to have a problem stopping anybody. And then again, look at that division. You're in the AFC, there's only one division where you get 2 layup games. There are 2 divisions that you don't get a layup game. So I would say if I had to bet an amount of money that mattered to me right now on a team to make the playoffs, it would, in the AFC, Indy would be in the top couple.
All right, we got bet and picks coming up next right here on ESPN Asheville, the NBA play-in games. Where does Flostradamus believe that you should lay your money tonight? He'll give you the picks coming up next.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
They say singing can help you remember things, so here's some tips for parents out there during these tough times.
Number 1. Make sure your kids wash their hands for 20 seconds after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside. 2. Virtual play dates, social and physical distancing can help save lives. 3. Tell them they're safe and show your love and pride. Yes, we'll get through this together.
Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with a new way to enjoy our beautiful planet. Energy consumption is a primary contributor to a changing climate, producing around 27% of greenhouse gases in the United States. Save money and energy at home by turning off your computer completely before you go to bed. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Hey, it's Mark Starling from First News on 570 for my friends over at Casablanca Cigar Bar. And I got to tell you, this is my new spot for business and for pleasure. Sam, Brooke, and Jackie will make sure all of your cigar and cocktail needs are taken care of. They have a wide selection of the finest cigars in every price point, and their selection of spirits and craft cocktails will have your taste buds watering. So whether it's a smoke and a cocktail at their Biltmore Village location or just a smoke at their new retail location in Hendersonville that has a gorgeous back patio, Casablanca Cigar Bars has all the relaxation you need.
As the country bounces back from COVID and mask mandates are lifted, your business needs a lift too. Promote your company right here, right now. Radio ads connect with 93% of Americans every week. That's more than Google, more than Facebook, more than TV. In fact, radio reaches 20% more millennials than TV. Want more of the people you want to talk to all in one place? Visit iHeartAdvertising.com and get AM and FM working for you. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can save just by being you. DriveWise in the Allstate mobile app gives you personalized driving feedback, and by adding it to your policy, you can save for driving safe just by being yourself. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. you're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Savings vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Now, it looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Coffee's the closer's only.
Get him the money.
Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
In all my years, I don't know that I've ever seen Vegas more leveraged than they are tonight with two NBA play-in games for two completely similar but different reasons. First, the Atlanta Hawks are a 2-point favorite tonight at the Cleveland Cavaliers. This all depends on Jared Allen. He's going to warm up. He's going to try to give it a go. If Jared Allen plays, I love Cleveland. The defensive ability down low with no John Collins just changes this entire game. I, having to make a pick at 3:51 in the afternoon, am going to risk it. Say Jared Allen plays, I'm taking Cleveland +2 under the 223. That's a total leverage play. Jared Allen doesn't play, we're in trouble. You're going to have to hedge that one. Finally, the New Orleans Pelicans take on the Los Angeles Clippers tonight. Pelicans are a 1-point favorite. Vegas couldn't move this number enough. With no Paul George, this team is bad. New Orleans has been playing way better than I could have ever thought with no Zion Williamson since they acquired C.J. McCollum. They are a drastically better team. This line's awful. Give me the Pelicans -1 over 215.5.
Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you.
Take those wagers to betus.com. BetUS.com, promo code Sportsocracy, and get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put in, up to $2,500. BetUS.com, promo code Sportsocracy.
We have our first
I'm your huckleberry
of the day. It's from Rob Johnson. He says, I upset many Carolina Panther fan armchair GMs, keyboard GMs, on the perfect mock draft. You are correct, and we're going to talk about that in the next hour.
We will talk about the Carolina Panthers. I want to know who's really calling the shots for the Carolina Panthers in this NFL draft. So many people have their opinions of what they're going to do at the top, what they should do at the top. We should take a quarterback. We shouldn't take a quarterback. And now there's rumors going up again about not taking a quarterback and getting one of the ones that are available right now. I don't know. You got to ride with what you got.
Your derision on Jimmy Garoppolo, I know that's who you're talking about. Without even knowing the story, I know that's who you're talking about.
We'll talk about it coming up after the Sports Center update at the top of the hour.
Frankie Cleary in our YouTube comment said, well done on the Eagles mock. It was intelligent, which is why it'll never happen. I have heard that line about 70 times since we put that out last night. Eagles fans are hilarious to me. And I'll be honest with you, as a Jets fan, I totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
You see something, you go, man, I hope it goes that way. But it won't.
It won't.
And there's always a comma, but it won't.
Right. I feel that way about a lot of front offices in the NFL. But, I mean, are there not things from the Philadelphia Eagles that you've seen that go, well, maybe they're getting smarter. Maybe Howie's getting better at this.
I've never had a problem with Howie, if I was being really honest with you. And now he takes swings, which I think in this league I think you have to do that.
But trading,
I have no problem with him.
Yeah, but in the trade with the Saints, you get you give up one of your first round picks this year, you get more draft capital, you get another one next year, so now you got two first rounders next year. I feel like that was there are smart things that Howie Roseman does. Every front office gets that, though. I mean, you can make these great moves, just like the Carolina Panthers. I mean, they make smart moves.
Oh yeah,
but then you got the Sam Darnold thing, and that's the only thing people care about.
But that all ties back to one word. It's the one word that you don't ever want to be in the NFL: desperate. Mm-hmm. Desperate teams do desperate things. really think about Scott Fitterer since he came into Charlotte. Have any of these moves really been bad?
I mean, Sam Darnold, I think we could all say
outside of that.
Okay.
Outside of that. Stefan Gilmore. Well, he left for nothing. Well aware.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll probably get a compensatory pick for it if I had a wager. Won't be great because you're going to be on the wrong side of that formula.
Right.
With Corbett and Bozeman.
No, I mean, I probably would have liked for them to keep Hassan Reddick, but that's the only thing I can really ding him on.
Did you want to pay him after you invested in Yetur Gross-Matos? A second-round pick? No. In large part, that's the funny thing about being an NFL GM. And I've noticed this since the Mike Mayock thing with the Raiders. Because Mike Mayock is basically telling anyone that will listen, this was not my fault.
Mm-hmm.
I would have kept Bisaccia, all these things he would have done. And I'm just sitting here going, you're only graded by the worst decision you ever made.
Right.
That's how the GM job in the NFL works. Your worst decision is what you're graded on.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if you do 99 things perfectly. You boo-boo kitty, especially if it's quarterback, that it'll be held against you for the rest of your life.
I will tell everyone who's listening that PhD weight loss is the way to go if you struggle with your weight like I have since birth. And now I'm just under 5 months on the PhD weight loss program, and I've lost over 58 pounds. I'm looking to get that 60-pound bag the next time I go in there. And the important thing is, don't put the cart before the horse. They tell me that all the time. You got these lofty goals for yourself, but just take it 1 week at a time. And as I can continue to lose 3 pounds a week on average, I am going to knock this thing out, and I am going to reach my goal.
I have struggled with two things with my weight. One, I'm really lazy, and I eat whatever the most convenient thing around me is. Two, it has affected my sleep for as long as I can remember. And last night, notwithstanding, since I started with PhD, my sleep has gotten better. I've lost weight. I'm back down to my high school weight, and I feel fantastic, and it's all thanks to the program and food of PhD Weight Loss.
It's all nutritious food that they give you. 80% of the food that you need to have success on it provided by PhD Weight Loss, and they got all the tips and tricks for you to have success. Easy path, and they got a great support system as well. Go to myphdweightloss.com. That's myphdweightloss.com. Panthers football talk coming up next after Sports Center.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, some unsettled weather cruising into Asheville for the weekend ahead. It's been a pretty Friday, but now that we're into Easter weekend, it looks like the clouds get the better of us tonight and some rain showers tomorrow and Sunday. Our temperature down to 50 degrees for tonight with increasing clouds. Rain showers around Saturday, some quarter-inch rains, high 68, low 47, and then some rains possible late Sunday, high 69, low 45. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. If your company needs to spring into efficient hiring, then check out Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
It's prom season, and this week the free iHeartRadio app is getting you set for an epic night with our iHeartRadio Prom playlist. Whether you're getting ready for your prom or looking to relive an unforgettable night from years ago, we've got the playlist to get you dancing and maybe even look up your crush on socials.
Ew, he's married to who?
Want to create your own? Create a playlist filled with the prom songs you want. Name it, save it, even share it with friends, all for free. Get started when you download the free iHeartRadio app. Discover music, radio, and podcasts you'll love.
DQ presents How to Know If Spring Has Sprung. Step 1, order from the new Spring Treat collection. Step 2, grab a fruity blast dip cone, s'more shake, or any of the colorful treats at DQ. Step 3, declare spring is indeed sprung. DQ, happy tastes good.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports Mavericks guard Luka Doncic is out for Game 1 of the playoffs against the Jazz with a strained left calf. His status for Game 2 also causing concern. The 8 seeds in each conference will be settled tonight. A doubleheader on ESPN Radio starting at 7 Eastern with the Cavaliers and Hawks. Cleveland center Jared Allen will be a game-time decision trying to come back from a broken left middle finger. In the second game, Clippers and Pelicans, Clippers guard Paul George is out after testing positive for COVID-19. The conference quarterfinals tip off over the weekend. Sunday, the Celtics host the Nets. ESPN's Tim Legler doesn't think Ben Simmons will be much of a factor if he plays in this series for the Nets.
I can't see this guy playing more than 12 to 15 minutes, and out of those 12 to 15 minutes, are we talking about, 6, 8, 10 possessions that he matters defensively and not really giving them anything on the other end?
New Louisville basketball coach Kenny Payne hires former National Player of the Year Danny Manning as an assistant.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
And we are coming to you from the Ingles Studio. Ingles Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. We are heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, on top of being heard terrestrially on 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. And, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get all of the extra team content, the team-by-team content that we put out here through the Draftmas season, through the off-season, the regular season. We've got it all right here in the Sportsocracy. And we've got those perfect A-plus Chris Farley mock drafts going out team by team.
I feel like we should have called this the Murtaugh mock draft.
Murtaugh?
Well, because we're halfway through the unveiling of them, and the only thing I can think of is I'm too old for this. I've been awake for 2 solid days. I'm cantankerous.
And you're getting a lot of shade from some people on it, but I always appreciate the engagement in the conversation, even if it starts with an insult, which it seems to be the way of social media.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, one of the things that I have discovered, and I don't know if this goes the same way for you, you tend to be the nicer of the two of us.
Yes.
If I had $1 for every time I've had an interaction like what I'm getting ready to say, I could buy dinner easily. It doesn't sound like much, but yeah, it's a lot, especially in the current landscape where gas is $4 a gallon. Angry first message. I respond usually with a joke and a question. And by the end of it, we're drinking beer and laughing together and going, hey, you remember when you were mad at me? That was fun. Woo.
Right.
And I love that. I love engaging, the different things that have come my way and how smart fans are. When I first started doing this, you could do a 7-round mock draft, and by the end of it, you could make people up. You could be using Zelda characters. Nobody would know the difference. Like, in the 7th round, you could take a Charizard, and people would go, oh, Charizard, I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to Google that.
He must be French.
He must be really fast. But now it's mind-boggling, these really myopic players that people fire at me. This is my favorite time of the year. I'm complaining about being rather sleepy today. But other than that, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah, so subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can see all of the mock drafts, not only for your team, obviously, but share it out with your friends as well. Tell them that their team is covered in the Sportsocracy as much as your team is. And the Carolina Panthers, obviously we have a little bit of a lean toward the Panthers, but you can almost set your watch to there's going to be a time in the day where trending on social media is going to be Matt Rule, Carolina Panthers, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Jimmy Garoppolo. Usually all of those are tied to the Carolina Panthers in some way. My derision, by the way, that you said, oh, you're going to trash talk Jimmy G again. No, I'm not trash talking Jimmy G. I like Jimmy G. And if that was the route that the Panthers wanted to go, I mean, you'd have to walk me through it. You'd have to walk me through how the money's going to work and what you're going to do with Sam Darnold. But that would be a move that I would look at Scott Fitterer and go, tip of the cap to you, buddy. You figured out a way to improve the quarterback situation, and hopefully it didn't cost you an arm and a leg. No, the one I'm going to trash here is Ian Rappaport of NFL Media.
At Rap Sheet.
Yeah, he went on the Pat McAfee show today, and, of course, Baker Mayfield was in the news because he went on this podcast and was talking about how he felt disrespected by the Cleveland Browns, that they were going after Deshaun Watson, and he's basically been told not to show up anymore, and I don't fault the Cleveland Browns for that at all. And Baker Mayfield can feel disrespected all he wants to. But he said that when Baker Mayfield said he thought that the Seattle Seahawks were the best option for him at the moment, Ian Rappaport said, I don't see it that way. He doesn't think that there's much of a chance that Seattle's going to make that move, and that if anybody made the move to get Baker Mayfield, it was going to be the Carolina Panthers. That the Panthers would make a trade for Baker Mayfield, and I just want to know, is there a Carolina Panthers fan in the world that wants that to happen?
No.
Is there one that goes, yeah, I mean, he is a little better than Sam Darnold, but we'd be sad if we did that.
I just want you to think about what I'm getting ready to say. The last athletic thing I did was 3 presidents ago. I hurt my back checking our mail.
Mm-hmm.
And there are as many NFL teams currently actively interested in me as there are in Baker Mayfield. That should tell you everything you need to know.
Right.
But one of the things that's really interesting to me, Carolina's in one of the weirdest shapes of any team in the league. And this is, to me, why you should have fired Matt Rule. Because if there was no Matt Rule, and I knew definitively he had no voice in the room, and I don't think he does, but I'll get to why that is in a second, this would be so much easier. This would be so much easier because you've got a coach that has some platitude. All right, let's say you'd hired Eric Bieniemy or whoever it would have been. First year, we don't have to find the quarterback now. Brady's come back to Tampa Bay. New Orleans has brought the band back together. We're at best third best team in this division. Not going to be a great year. Rebuilding year. Reps for the young guys on defense. Get the line right and set up for next year, knowing we're going to pick in the top 8, take a quarterback in a better class.
Mm-hmm.
But because you do have Matt Rule in place and he's adamantly fighting for his job, just look at the prospects they've brought in. That, to me, is one of the greatest truth serums to find out how a team feels about themselves. Look at who they bring in. If it's a lot of project guys, you can assume it's the GM calling the shots and they know exactly where they are.
Mm-hmm.
You have done enough mock drafts with me that I just want to go down, not many, just a few, and tell me what the first word I say about every one of these guys is.
Okay.
Amari Barno.
Hyper athletic.
Okay. But what do I end that with? There's a word. It starts with a P, and I just said, there you go.
Yeah.
Velus Jones.
Yeah, project.
Ja'Cory Robertson. Cole Strange.
Yeah.
Rasheed Walker.
Yeah.
Tariq Woolen. You know what all those guys have in common?
They're project pieces.
And they've all had private meetings with the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, okay.
Which tells me this team has been turned over to Scott Fitterer. You are the captain now. And I'll be honest with you, as a Jets fan, I've read this book before.
Mm-hmm.
The arranged marriage with the GM and the coach. The GM's really safe. The coach has got one foot in the grave and one foot on a banana peel. You're not going to like how this ends.
Yeah.
But the encouraging part is that he's the one that's calling the shots on the draft. And that tells me that the Tony Pauline report, that the pick is down to Ike Mekwonu and Charles Cross. That would make me feel better if I was a Panthers fan.
I mean, it makes me feel better. I'm not a Panthers fan, but I've never been a true Panthers hater. I want to see them do well. I just don't want to see you beat my Bucks. But I want to see them do well, and it would give me a little bit, but the more and more we go through the draft process and the more and more we see these respected names in mock drafting and prospect evaluating and all of that, I keep hearing the same things over and over again of Matt Rule's fighting for his job, so he's got to take Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis, or he's got to have a quarterback at 6. I don't want him anywhere near my draft room.
And he's not.
Especially after what happened last year with the Chuba Hubbard pick, that the story comes out, he got a text from his wife who really loves him.
I've been doing this a long time. If your spouse was the impetus of you drafting a player, or if you saw a bird that brought you a note, or if you just shook a magic 8-ball, don't say that out loud.
Right.
You can say anything. Don't say that. Right. Because that will be held against you for the rest of your life.
So when it comes to the NFL draft and the Carolina Panthers, who's making the decisions? Hopefully you're right, Jeremy. Hopefully it is Scott Fitterer that's making all these decisions, and Matt Rule is not he's not a part of the decision-making process other than to do the one thing that Aaron Rodgers wanted the Packers to do was call him and say, hey, we're going to take this guy. Are you okay? We don't really care either way, but we're just going to let you know. That's the role that I want Matt Rule playing in this, because if I'm Scott Fitterer, I don't want to do anything that's going to help him keep this job next year.
Well, and you can't look at it that way.
Well, no.
You have to do what's best for the team. In the YouTube comments, Tyler Cunningham said, we should be blaming David Tepper for bringing him in. See, to me, that's revisionist history. You got to remember, a quarter of the league wanted this guy to be their head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams in New York, the Panthers, and there were a few others. I don't remember exactly who they were, but he had the Jets job. I can tell you that definitively. I would bet my ability to have fun for the rest of my life. He had the job.
Mm-hmm.
And at the 11th hour, he came to Woody Johnson and said, I want to pick my entire staff. And Woody balked at it. You've never been in the league. You're going to bring in a staff like this. If you remember, I did not like the staff when I saw who he had brought in, because it was all college guys.
Right.
I don't blame Tepper for the Rule thing. I completely get it. This goes back to what I said about taking swings. You've got to take swings, especially when you're not a heritage franchise. When you're not a huge free agent destination, and that's not a slight. Every team is a destination to a point. But you don't have Pat Mahomes. You don't have Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Allen, where'd that come from? Mulleted, man.
Yep.
You have to take swings. So I totally understand why he brought in Matt Rule. What I don't understand is basically everything I've seen all offseason long has said he has no say left in the room. Then why'd you bring him back? Is this just is it just you're going to let the Darnold stink attached only to him? That's the only thing that makes any sense. But these two things don't work contiguously. It's the thing that there's a lot of smoke that comes with the draft. I think we all know that.
Mm-hmm.
In the 2 weeks leading up to the draft, you cannot believe anything that anyone says to you. Which, by the way, we're officially in that point. So every rumor and report you hear, take that with a grain of salt. The thing I just don't get is, why are you trying to force feed me this quarterback narrative so hard? Who is Malik Willis good for? You tell me who in that organization that's good for.
I don't think it's good for anybody.
There you go. Because if the Matt Rule thing goes sideways and he's fired in a year, Malik Willis would, best case scenario, he wouldn't have played a snap.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nobody with an IQ above salad dressing that thinks that Malik Willis is a better chance for you to win right now than Sam Darnold. He's not. He's not, and it's not all that close.
I think they're more than you think. And that says something about some of the prognosticators out there. But I'll put it this way. Anybody that does what I do, that looks at this and goes, Malik Willis is the best way to save Sam Darnold's job, they have no idea what they're talking about. Right.
None.
I was reading an article yesterday or 2 days ago on CBS Sports, and it was written by one of their top draft guys. And he goes through, and I think it's still up on their front page, of will any of these quarterbacks actually help the team that could draft them? And it went through all the quarterback-needy teams, and with the Carolina Panthers and Sam Darnold, every quarterback that they listed, the answer was yes, that they are better than Sam Darnold.
And they're all wrong
Malik
except
Willis, Desmond Ridder, and Kenny Pickett.
Malik Willis and Desmond Ridder are laughable. I mean, that is comical to me if you actually think they would come in and be better than Sam Darnold right now.
And Sam Howell not even included in the article.
And see, to me, that I understand that because that's not a fit at all.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty of Sam Howell is
with any team. He was left out of all of them.
Now, that should not have been a thing.
And then when I saw Tim Hasselbeck on ESPN yesterday morning talking about undervalued players in this NFL draft, his number one, Sam Howell.
It's my number one. It's my number one. It's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
You've known me long enough that you remember the Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson draft.
Yes.
How many of those guys did I miss on?
Well, you missed on Lamar.
That's the only one.
Okay.
I audibly laughed out loud at Baker and Josh Rosen. I still am not ready to tap out on Sam Darnold. And you can call me Colin Cowherd or whatever you want.
Right.
He's 6 months older than Kenny Pickett, so calm down.
Right.
And Josh, I had Josh Allen as the second best quarterback in the class, behind Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like the Panthers are in a position where, you know what, let's add around Sam Darnold. Let's actually see what we can get out of him because, yes, the beginning of the experiment last year was pretty good. I mean, they started out, 4-0? 3-0?
It's something like
that. And I get that they were playing teams like in the realm of the Houston Texans to start out the season, but it looked really good. And remember, we were talking, and everybody was like, oh, my gosh, this looks like a whole new Sam Darnold. And then what happened? Christian McCaffrey gets hurt. And then a couple other injuries happen, and the line falls apart, and he starts getting banged up. It's like, okay, now it's all just turned to Sam Darnold's crap. And we're not going to give him we're not going to give him the same leeway.
All right, so I know that, and this hasn't been recently, but you bought a house. I'm going to say something, and I'm going to phrase it in the way of building an NFL franchise is a lot like owning a house. If the pipes burst and a room floods, that's an immediate problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you bulldoze the house?
No.
This is what NFL teams do all the time. Well, the quarterback's he's not the guy. Oh, you got to go get another one. Well, is he the guy? Probably not. Then why are you doing this? Think about who are the best teams in this league? Last 20 years, who are the best teams in this league?
New England Patriots.
How many quarterbacks have they drafted in the first 3 rounds in the last 20 years?
One.
Next.
Kansas City Chiefs.
1.
Mm-hmm. Tampa Bay. You throw them in there?
I don't know. No. See, that's Tom Brady.
That doesn't fit your narrative?
No, because they're not. They were actually historically pretty god-awful. Then you added Tom Brady.
That's true. Yeah.
There you go. I'm looking for sustained over the last 20 years.
Baltimore
Pittsburgh
Ravens.
Steelers, Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
You know what they all have in common? They don't play this chase a quarterback like a dog chasing its tail.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason for that. And it is super comical to me how easy it is for people to get swayed on that. Look back. Do yourself a favor. Look back through the last 20 years of NFL drafts. Figure out how many franchise quarterbacks there were. Franchise. Would have been great on any team.
Yep.
If you get to 5, you're doing it wrong. And then all you have to do is play the shell game. Would Josh Allen be this good if he'd gone to the Jets?
No.
Would Sam Darnold be this bad if he'd gone to Buffalo?
No.
And you can do that with most of these guys. So, and I go back to the house reference of most of these teams have leaky pipes. The structure's good. The house is still standing. You take Carolina. The defense is good and young. You've got good weapons, all of these things. But you're missing a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to just demolish the house. That gets really expensive to break it all down and build it back together. It's much easier to just call a plumber.
Yeah. Tyler Cunningham in the YouTube comment says if Sam Darnold played every game like he did the Cowboys game, they'd have made the playoffs last year.
And you want me to tell you a fun story about that game? It's the highest rated offensive line blocking score they had the entire year.
Mm-hmm. You give him protection, maybe there's something there. And then all the drops that he dealt with as well. Like, I feel like everybody just glosses over that.
He had 2 guys in the top 4 of drops in the NFL last year.
Right.
or top 5. I can't remember where they wound up. They were 1 and 2 at one time.
Right. Between Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore, they totaled like 28 drops or something last year, which is insane. But somehow that's Sam Darnold's fault.
Well, I mean, it's what people do. The win-loss record of the quarterback, it doesn't pass the smell test.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sam Darnold's win-loss record is terrible. Yeah, and Alex Smith was great. You think Sam Darnold and Alex Smith are that different? Because I don't.
Right. Now, the Panthers making a move to get Baker Mayfield shouldn't even be considered.
No.
And I don't think Scott Fitterer even thinks about that. Jimmy G's a different story, though. We'll talk about that coming up next, right here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, some unsettled weather cruising into Asheville for the weekend ahead. It's been a pretty Friday, but now that we're into Easter weekend, it looks like the clouds get the better of us tonight and some rain showers tomorrow and Sunday. Our temperature down to 50 degrees for tonight with increasing clouds. Rain showers around Saturday, some quarter-inch rains, high 68, low 47, and then some rains possible late Sunday, high 69, low 45. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 west and eastbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. Haywood County 40 eastbound stop and go between the NC-Tennessee state line and Harmondon Road. 40 on the westbound side stop and go between Fines Creek Road and Harmondon Road. Charlotte Highway moving well. Tunnel Road problem free. Sweeten Creek Road no backups. Mills Gap Road moving well. Cane Creek Road, no delays. Airport Road, problem-free. Check the drive time from downtown Asheville to Asheville Regional Airport via 240 westbound and 26 eastbound. Drive time, 19 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by InvisibleFence.com. Invisible Fence brand is changing the way people live with their pets. Experienced professionals provide pets independence to play outside while providing you confidence they're secure. Visit InvisibleFence.com to learn more. Invisible Fence brand. Surround your pets with care.
So many people here have discovered the power of regenerative medicine thanks to QC Kinetics. And now with over 100 clinics across America, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader providing non-surgical options for chronic joint pain, hair loss, and other issues with no drugs and no downtime. These are cutting-edge solutions, natural treatments that can repair and restore damaged tissue and give you lasting results. Are you suffering from nagging joint pain or thinning hair or maybe both? I want you to call QC Kinetics now. Learn how advances in natural biologics can give you your life back using remarkable growth factors with healing properties from your own body. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. If you've been told surgery is your only option for joint pain or hair restoration, you need to explore these amazing new treatments. Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517, 828-333-9517. That's 333-9517.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can save just by being you. DriveWise in the Allstate mobile app gives you personalized driving feedback, and by adding it to your policy, you can save for driving safe just by being yourself. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Savings vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
And now a message from Puffs Tissues. It's that time of year when spring's in full swing and explosions of life make allergies really zing. Each sniffle and swipe can be a moment of dread as ordinary tissues make noses angry and red. So keep Puffs by your side to soften all your blows. With Air Puffed Magic, they'll cushion your nose. Especially during allergy season, a nose in need deserves Puffs indeed.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can and kick ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
Back here in the Sportsocracy talking Panthers football, and what are the Panthers going to do? Are they going to draft a quarterback? Hopefully not in the first round at number 6 overall. Hopefully that goes an offensive lineman, your number one need. Protect whoever you're going to have back there. When it comes to veterans, we know that there was the report that there was no interest on either side between the Carolina Panthers and Baker Mayfield to him landing there, which I'm going to stick by that and go, that was the smartest thing that's ever been reported. Then there's Jimmy G. Jimmy G still could be a possibility. San Francisco 49ers want to move on to the Trey Lance era, correct? They don't want to have this situation with Jimmy G still hanging around for year 2 of Trey Lance. But do they want it enough to eat salary? Because I feel like that at this point, that's what you're going to have to do if you want Jimmy out of the building.
This is the biggest misnomer of the Jimmy Garoppolo thing, that they're just going to give him away to get him out of the way. That's not going to happen.
But they're going to have to eat some of it, correct?
Not necessarily.
To get a deal done?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I think San Francisco is content to just sit around and wait for camp to happen. And if somebody gets hurt, prey on somebody's desperation. The Carolina thing is laughably stupid to me. Really? Who does that benefit?
To bring Jimmy G in?
So if you're Fitterer, you're tying yourself to an injury-prone quarterback. You're going to be spending $1 billion at quarterback in the first year of this.
Mm-hmm.
What sense does that make?
Well, I mean, if you want to win
and
now.
You're tying him to Matt Rule, and nothing Matt Rule has ever done makes real sense with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay. I could see that.
That makes no sense.
Jonathan Alexander, Panthers beat writer for the Charlotte Observer, wrote on the Blue Wire's The Roar podcast that's the one that makes sense.
I would need that explained in very finite detail.
That if you were going to get a veteran quarterback that's available on the market, Jimmy G's got to be the one. That needs to be explained to you, because I think that's
in this system. Why does that make any sense? Is Jimmy Garoppolo the solution for the future?
No.
Then why would you do that? Do you feel like you have the coach in place? Do you feel like everything's in place except the quarterback? No. Then why would you do that? Makes zero sense.
Mm-hmm.
Are they a Super Bowl contender with Jimmy Garoppolo?
No, but they'd be much closer.
What, it's 17? You're going to spend this much money to be a mediocre team in the NFL at best?
Mm-hmm.
More likely, based on his history, he's going to miss 6 games, and you're going to be stuck with Sam Darnold the same way you were before.
Right. So you think San Francisco is stuck and they're okay with what they got?
I think San Francisco is fine to go into next year with Garoppolo and Trey Lance both on the roster.
Okay.
I don't think they have any fear of that. And I'll tell you why I feel that way, because I've already watched them do it once with Alex Smith. I understand the brain trust is different.
Mm-hmm.
The skeleton of that franchise is not different. And they waited around, and you never know. And then the next thing you know, off to Washington you go.
Yeah.
Because a desperate team came with a desperate offer. And it worked.
Yeah. So Jimmy Garoppolo, you don't think he fits at all in Carolina?
No.
Why not?
For the same reasons I've already said. Do you think this team is drastically better with him? No, then why would you? You're already hemorrhaged draft capital-wise. You pick at 6, and I've heard a lot of people say, you could trade down. With who exactly?
Right.
Who exactly is clamoring to get into the top 10 of this draft? The answer is no one.
Well, maybe if it's someone after Drake London. You said earlier today Drake London will not get out of the top 10.
You're not going to. No, I said Jameson Williams wouldn't get out of the top 10.
That's the one.
Why would I trade up to 6? The Giants are no risk of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
The Falcons are really no risk of doing that. Seattle, if they moved off DK or Tyler Lockett, maybe, but I don't think so. If you're going to do that, why would I not trade up to 10 with the Jets and save myself a third-round pick? I don't have to trade up with you.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the lower I move up, the less risk there is to me. There's nothing there that makes any sense. Also, what exactly do you think you're going to give San Francisco? You think they're going to give him to you for a 4th-round pick? Are you out of your mind?
I think this was more of a discussion of gun to the head. You're gonna get a veteran presence. That's the one you would take, and that's to me again. I'll say it common knowledge. You would take.
And say to me, I disagree.
You would take Jimmy G over Baker Mayfield.
I mean, sheer talent, but you got to factor in the situation. There's much more that goes to that. It's not like we're sitting here picking dodgeball teams. Like, well, you got to take somebody. No, you can sit pat with what you have, which is exactly what you should do.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get weird.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
All right, that was a convenience store that wound up on the wrong side of the law up in New Jersey, and they were doing crimes, obviously. Investigators seized $243,000 and more than 100 pounds of marijuana during an investigation into an alleged drug convenience store where customers would be greeted at the door. So this is a convenience store that it looks like that on the outside. And you see people leaving this business with, convenience store things, candies and chips and all of that. But what tipped people off to there's something up about this convenience store is that they had armed guards at the door. You had to go into the store.
That's a bad sign.
Yeah, you had to surrender your cell phone. They would not allow you to carry your cell phone into the convenience store to go get your chips or your beef jerky or whatever it was that you were going to come out with. And yes, they were putting all of the crimes into bags that looked like popular food items such as Cheetos, Lifesavers, Nerds, and Skittles. And they were obviously selling edibles and actually, leaf marijuana. It was a 4-week investigation into this business, and they seized, like I said, $243,000 worth of drugs from this business. Not only marijuana, but it was a whole mess of other illegal crimes that were being doled out as well. I feel like that is the dumbest thing that you could do. That kind of thing draws attention, don't you think? If you got an armed security guard standing outside of your business, and it's not like it's out in the middle of nowhere or it's conspicuous at all. It's in the middle of a giant shopping center that's got a barber shop next to it. It's like, come on, guys. How did you not know that you were going to get popped for this, for doing the crimes? 2 people have been charged in that, and police also seizing 48 packets of heroin from this bust.
Criminals have never been accused of being rocket surgeons.
That's true.
My story comes from the county of Wellington in Ontario, Canada. They had road work happening, and so they put up one of those little mobile signs. You see these electronic billboards on the side of roads all the time. And what the sign said was, watch your speed, broken pavement. That's a nice thing. That's a civil service to tell you that we're working on the road, avoid these potholes so as to not damage your car. Well, earlier this week, the sign changed. Now the sign reads, have you seen my wheels? Because someone did crimes and stole the wheels off the motorized little electronic billboard.
Oh,
and so the county of Wellington went in, reprogrammed it, and said, have you seen my wheels? This was 3 days ago. As of this moment, there have been no reports as to where the wheels could have gone or what you could possibly have done with them.
We're building a go-kart.
They look like lawnmower tires, so I don't really know what it is that you would do with them when you have procured them.
You should check every Boy Scout who's building a soapbox derby car.
Well, here's the thing that apparently these criminals didn't know. When they find them, that is a felony because that is government property. So your $8 wheels are a felony.
Nice.
More rocket surgeon criminals.
Good night. I would imagine the stones that it takes.
I've always wondered how do people get by with that and nobody see it. There was a sign. I'm not going to say it was not this city, but it was a city I've lived in. There was a sign that was in a kind of an innocuous part of town, and the area that it was pointing out was kind of funny. I bet that sign has been stolen 50 times. How? It's riveted into concrete.
Right.
Like somebody's up there with a kindling torch just burning this thing off and nobody says anything. I will never figure that out.
Well, now I want to know what the sign said.
I can't tell you.
Is this like the Clinton prosperity sign on the highway?
It's similar to that, but it's not that.
Okay.
But people would steal that sign just over and over and over again, and they just would make a new one, put it up, and then it would get stolen again.
Yep.
And nobody ever saw anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you go in the deep, darkest parts of night when there is no traffic, I don't know.
This was on the interstate. There is no deepest, darkest part of night.
Well, and then there's also, I don't know, you just roll up in a truck, have like a...
But it's not like you can just take out your...
Just take it.
You can't just take out your ratchet set and go, hey, Ma, I got us a sign. This would be a whole process. It wouldn't take 10 seconds where you just go, hey, I got it.
If you look like a road crew, how many people are going to say, hey, there's something wrong with that?
I'm going to venture that anybody that does that, they might look like a road crew, but they don't look like a road crew. I'm going to bet they look like me.
Possibly.
You can infer from that whatever you choose.
I saw a poll that has upset me a little bit. This poll was done, and sports fans were asked, who are the greatest coaches of all time? And I don't necessarily disagree with the most popular answers in this, but the fact that so many coaches got votes and none of them were, well, attached to any of my teams, it kind of upsets me. All right, I'll ask you, Jeremy. If I was going to ask you this question, we're doing the phone poll, and I say, Mr. Sports Fan, who's the greatest coach of all time? What is your answer going to be?
The greatest sports coach of all time.
Greatest sports coach of all time. Does not matter what sport, team, anything like that. Just greatest coach all time.
Well, baseball's completely out. Hockey is completely out.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at basketball. So greatest in basketball is Coach K and Dean Smith. Greatest in the NBA is Greg Popovich and Phil Jackson. Greatest in the NFL, I would say Bill Belichick and Bill Walsh. College football, Nick Saban.
Okay.
There's my 7 off the top of my head.
That's some very, very good, all very good answers. Bill Belichick, number 1. He got the most support.
Right.
Second, tied actually for first, was Vince Lombardi. The guy they named the Lombardi Trophy after. Won 5 NFL titles. I get that it was in the 1950s.
There were also 8 teams. Like, okay, calm down.
10% of respondents said Bill Belichick or Lombardi. Phil Jackson came in at second, tied with John Madden, which I feel like is video game related.
Oh, and that's fine. I can get down with Madden. He was also a great broadcaster, and he had one of the greatest voices ever.
They were at 7% apiece. John Wooden got the most recognition for college basketball, obviously winning 11 national titles with UCLA.
I'm not going to object to that, but I have the same qualm with that I have with Vince Lombardi.
Mm-hmm. Then you had he had 4% of the return. Then at 3%, you had 4 guys: Tom Landry, the Dallas Cowboys, Mike Ditka,
stop,
Nick Saban, and Mike Krzyzewski. From there, the list goes: Tony Dungy, Greg Popovich, Don Shula, Joe Paterno, Bobby Knight, and Bear Bryant. No mention
of Dean
Smith or Roy Williams. This is insanity to me.
Well, I mean, you're a Carolina fan, so it's really insanity. The Dean part of that is absurd.
But you didn't find more than 1% of your respondents that even mentioned their names? That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, you also got to realize, I think we've come to a point in life, and now, yes, I do see the irony that we do polls every day, and I'm about to say what I'm about to say. Polls are not necessarily the most accurate way to determine something.
Yeah, depends on who you're polling.
Depends
on what the crosstabs are.
Does it, though? I mean, you ever see a poll and go, yeah, they got that right. That's 100% right.
Oh, no.
You could do a poll right now on Twitter of what day is it, and 20% of people would not answer Friday.
I just find it weird that you did this. You did this survey. It was like 1,400 people were asked, and you got more people that said Bobby Knight is a better basketball coach than Dean Smith. Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
I guess they must have been 800 years old.
I don't get that. Still, you say Bobby Knight over Dean Smith?
Right.
That's insanity. I take polls with a grain of salt. It's just like Creed making it into the Elite Eight. We know that you're sitting around listening to your Creed bangers. There's no doubt about that.
There's no one doing that except for you. If you go on Spotify and listen to Creed, Scott Stapp gets an alert on his message. Oh, Jeremy's listening to us again.
That's
awesome.
fine. He's a bit of a kooky madookie, but we could be friends.
Because you're the only one. Because every other time you got it on like a mix station, or whether it be on, obviously you should use the iHeartRadio app for all of your listening. But even on a mix station, when Creed comes on, you're hitting that skip button.
I know.
Thumb it down, so hopefully you never have to listen to it again.
I just heard the news today.
Would you stop that?
It's better than Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
defending.
It got me all in my feelings that there was no mention of Dean Smith. Mike Krzyzewski obviously belongs on this list. But Dean definitely needs to be on this list above Bobby Knight. Stop it.
Clarence Ingle in our comments said no votes for Gino Auriemma either. I'm not going to lie. I thought that. The last time he didn't go to the Final Four, I think I was a junior in high school.
Mm-hmm. There's a very simple reason for that.
Well, and
we all know the reasons.
And to me, that's dumb. Anytime somebody's that is that great, they deserve the credit. I mean, I know Gino's a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
There are many, many stories about that. Me being me, I guess I can kind of sympathize with that you don't necessarily get the credit that you deserve for being a jerk.
Look, I'm not saying what he has done at UConn is not a great thing. But also when you get the best players every year because you are solely you.
Well, here's
that's the way I felt about Pat Summitt as well.
Well, here's the thing. I could say the same thing about John Wooden. So when John Wooden was doing all of his things, there were about 4 schools that actually could compete with him.
That's true as well.
I'm not saying he wasn't great. I'm just saying what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Right.
Hashtag birds aren't real.
Right. One of the greatest of all time. Those coaches belong in the discussion of greatest coaches of all time, sure. But I don't know. I've just always felt like there was a giant discrepancy in talent.
I feel like you find these myopic little polls that say things that would perturb me.
Mm-hmm.
My computer has a filter for that. Like, nope, that risks him putting his fist through me. So I'm not going to show him that.
Well, no, you just get on social media and worry about what one random person says rather than.
Oh, I don't ever worry about what one random person says. Now, I will say through the mock drafts, I have figured out that I do have a weakness in that if you say something derogatory about me, I'm going to try to find a way to incite you further than I already have.
Mm-hmm.
Call it a character flaw. HWA pointed that out to me. She went through the YouTube comments and was like, why have you only responded to the negative ones? And I went, I did not know that about myself.
You don't even thumbs up on the ones that are complimentary?
Once all the mock drafts are out, I'll go through and do them all. But it's all right. It's a very aggressive process because I want to give real, honest, good answers.
Right.
Well, I've been and I'm going to be honest with you, I've been asked about 2 players that I have never heard of.
Really?
That's hard to do. For you to ask me about I was watching Sam Houston's state tape at 3:00 this morning. For you to ask me about somebody that I go, that could be the guy that just redid my deck, and I would totally believe that.
I was going to say, when you have a guy on your big board from Ouachita Baptist College.
That would be Gregory Jr.
Uh-huh, and he's higher on your list than I've seen him on anybody else's list. I feel like you've done your due diligence. You can't really...
I don't think anybody can say I haven't done my due diligence. You can disagree with me all you want.
Ouachita Baptist.
But that kid's good.
Mm-hmm.
That kid's real good, actually.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was funny that Traylon Burke said he would have went to Ouachita Baptist. He didn't care. He didn't care about going to a big school.
No.
That he's from that town. Could you imagine? That would have been the best D3 team ever. If they had Gregory Jr. on one side and Traylon Burks on the other side, it's a pretty good team. All right, you ready to make the folks some money? We got 5 on it.
There's only 2 games in the NBA tonight, and frankly, I ain't betting baseball. So, it's going to sound similar to the last hour, but it'll give you a confidence rating. First, I got 25 on it. Pelicans and the Clippers, neither one of them can play dead in the Western, and I feel like Vegas is hedging their bets here. I think we all know how this is going to go. With no Paul George, the Clippers are just bad. And this is not going to be – I think it'll be closer than Vegas obviously does. They can't move the number but so much when Paul George is deemed out to protect themselves. They got this wrong. I'm going over it. I got 25 on it, over 215.5 between the Pelicans and the Clippers. Next, I got 50 on it. You know what? I'm riding this. I feel like Jared Allen's going to play, and I feel like people are absolutely losing their mind on the Hawks because they scored a jillion points against Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Secret time, a lot of people score a lot of points against Charlotte. At full strength, this Cleveland team is different. I don't understand why people undervalue Jared Allen so much. Vegas is hedging, but as of right now, 94% of money is on the Hawks. Virtually any time I see that, I'm going to be on the other side. I got 50 on it. Cleveland Cavaliers plus the 2. Finally, I got 100 on it. The New Orleans Pelicans are a different team. Now, look, they're going to go into the next round, and it's going to get bad against the Phoenix Suns.
Uh-huh.
But one last hurrah. They look like they should have been singing One Shining Moment as they knocked out the Spurs. They get one more shot to do it. Give me the Pelicans. I got 100 on it, -1 against the Clippers.
Take those wagers to betus.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy and get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put in, up to $2,500. Rob Johnson, Tyler Cunningham says he was surprised, Jeremy, that you didn't say Bobby Bowden, the greatest coaches of all time.
You all know. There's only 2 coaches in the world that are associated with dadgummit. It's Roy Williams and Bobby Bowden, and they both should have been on there.
I will agree with you on that. Coming up next, Jeremy will be mad. here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Roadways moving accident and stall free. Haywood County 40 westbound stop and go between Fines Creek Road and Harmon-Den Road as construction continues. Smoky Park Highway moving well. Patton Avenue, no delays. New Leicester Highway moving well. Charlotte Highway, no backups. Tunnel Road incident free. Hendersonville Road, no backups. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, a few light delays approaching Mills Gap Road. Checking the drive time from Swannanoa to Asheville via 40 westbound and 240 westbound. Drive time 16 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen.
DQ presents How to Know If Spring Has Sprung. Step 1, order from the new Spring Treat Collection. Step 2, grab a fruity blast dip cone, s'more shake, or any of the colorful treats at DQ. Step 3, declare spring is indeed sprung. DQ, happy tastes good.
Hey, I'm Miles Gray.
And I'm Jack O'Brien, and we want to tell you about our new podcast,
Miles and Jack got Mad Boosties, an NBA podcast from iHeartRadio. This is a weekly podcast about all the amazing moments that keep NBA fans coming back for more.
Basically, if you love basketball and you like to laugh, listen to Miles and Jack Got Mad Boosties, an NBA podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can save just by being you. DriveWise in the Allstate mobile app gives you personalized driving feedback, and by adding it to your policy, you can save for driving safe just by being yourself. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Savings vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Mrs. Fogelman, ready to hustle for that muscle.
Membership numbers at Sly's Gym have been racking up.
22 people have signed up for 6 a.m. buns of steel.
Now he needs more certified trainers to do all the heavy lifting.
I'm going to have to bulk up my staff.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you want the best for your car? Then fill up with Premium at Circle K. Circle K Premium is our best fuel with double the cleaning detergent, protecting your engine from corrosion and damage so it can work at its best. And that, my friend, increases your mileage for more cha-ching in your pocket. Plus, when you fill up with Premium at Circle K, you can save up to 20 cents per gallon. Offer valid Thursdays or Fridays at participating stores. For details, visit CircleK.com. Circle K. How convenient.
Whether you want your pet to have the independence to run and play outside, or you need to correct some mischievous behaviors like digging in the trash, the hands-on trainers from Invisible Fence brand train your pets for you. Visit InvisibleFence.com to learn more. Invisible Fence brand. Surround your pets with care.
Hey guys, I'm Ziggy, your local Philly girl, owner of Ziggy's Bakery and Deli. I've created a traditional northern deli with only the most authentic cheesesteaks outside of Philadelphia, served with provolone, white American, or Cheese Whiz. Our other classic deli sandwiches are made with the best quality meats and cheeses, available sliced by the pound. Join us for breakfast for house-made bagels with our custom cream cheeses. Or for something heartier, try a pork roll, egg and cheese, or house-cured lox. Ziggy's Bakery and Deli, in the corner of Asheville Commons, 1550 Hendersonville Road, open 8 to 3, Tuesday through Saturday.
At Ingles, we know your closest companions are the ones who are always there for you. The ones you trust to have your back, no matter what. Who make the hard times a little softer, and the good ones, somehow, a little better.
This week at Ingles, select sizes and varieties Kellogg's Townhouse or Club Crisp crackers, 2 for $5. Select sizes and varieties Starbucks coffee, $7.98 each. And select sizes and varieties General Mills cereal, 2 for $5. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
It's the freaking weekend, baby, I'm about to have me some fun.
All right, Jeremy, this is your happy moment. He told me I'm not really mad. I'm happy today.
This is usually the spot where I complain about something, but A, it's Friday. B, it's draft season. And C, we got some of the best news humanly possible earlier today. This is from Dick Vitale on Twitter. Just received great news versus lymphoma from Dr. Brown. He said that after analyzing my blood work, I'm clear to ring the bell. This is my March Madness championship. I'm going to be honest with you. No matter how you feel about Dick Vitale as a commentator, A, college basketball is better with him, and B, this is something that should kick your weekend off with great news, because it is great to hear that he can ring the bell. Congratulations to Dickie V, and I can't wait to see you back on the sidelines. I didn't realize how bad I was going to miss him until you spent this entire season with no Dickie V.
Right.
He is the quintessential. I would argue he is the most identifiable part of college basketball.
Agreed.
And great news heading into the weekend to hear that he can ring the bell and is officially cancer-free and will hopefully be on a sideline near you very, very soon.
Absolutely. I always thought that was the biggest kick in the tuchus of the one guy who has done the most to promote the Jimmy V Foundation and raise all of these millions upon millions of dollars for cancer, winds up getting it himself. So great news that he is going to or that he is in remission, no signs of cancer right now for Dickie V. Absolutely. I remember as a kid, I did a project in middle school of the job that you wanted in the future. Dickie V was my guy. I did the whole thing on how I could become the next Dickie V. Now, obviously, I never lived up to that, but, still early. I'm still young. Still got a lot left in me.
Yeah, you wound up talking sports with a guy that looks borderline homeless.
Yeah. Have you picked your USFL team yet?
Houston Gamblers. That's not even debatable.
Okay, I should have known.
It's 100% the right call. It's the best logo. It's the best branding. Now, here's the question: How much of it am I going to watch? Probably zero.
You won't even tune in for the playoffs of the USFL.
I don't know. You're choosing a bad time here. I'm buried in draft stuff. That I am completely one-track mind.
Yeah.
I'm footballed out.
I'm not. I'm ready to see what this looks like. The new rules and all of that. The Tampa Bay Bandits are back. I remember I never saw a Tampa Bay Bandits game because I was too young when the first USFL came around, but because I have family that lives in the Tampa area, I always had Tampa Bay Bandit stuff. We had hats and shirts, and we had little souvenir cups that our family would send us. So Tampa Bay, that's my team, and I'm going to be interested to see what this all looks like. I mean, yes, I'm going to be more interested when the XFL rolls around because I'm more attached to their coaches and whatnot. But USFL kicks off this weekend. We got the NASCAR dirt race up at Bristol coming up on Sunday night. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm fortunate enough to be able to go and experience it live, but it's going to be a hell of a TV product as well. You got NBA playoffs, golf going on down in Hilton Head, South Carolina. There's a lot going on.
There's a little something for everybody this weekend.
No doubt.
And for me, I hope that includes a nap.
A nap.
I need a nap.
Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel so you get all of our team-by-team content as we continue to roll out the A-plus perfect Chris Farley mock drafts. Every team, send Jeremy the worst possible messages you could send him, because I love to see his face when he sees them.
And your response is going to sound something like this.
Yes. Subscribe to the channel. We will be back here on Monday at 3 on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, some unsettled weather cruising into Asheville for the weekend ahead. It's been a pretty Friday, but now that we're into Easter weekend, it looks like the clouds get the better of us tonight and some rain showers tomorrow and Sunday. Our temperature down to 50 degrees for tonight with increasing clouds. Rain showers around Saturday, some quarter-inch rains, high 68, low 47, and then some rains possible late Sunday, high 69, low 45. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. If April is showering your company with open job positions, check out Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Sponsor your first job today and get hiring by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Roadways moving accident and stall free. Haywood County 40 westbound stop and go between Fines Creek Road and Harmon-Den Road as construction continues. Smoky Park Highway moving well. Patton Avenue, no delays. New Leicester Highway moving well. Charlotte Highway, no backups. Tunnel Road incident free. Hendersonville Road, no backups. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, a few light delays approaching Mills Gap Road. Checking the drive time from Swannanoa to Asheville via 40 westbound and 240 westbound. Drive time 16 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by InvisibleFence.com. Whether you want your pet to have the independence to run and play outside, or you need to correct some mischievous behaviors like digging in the trash, the hands-on trainers from Invisible Fence brand train your pets for you. Visit InvisibleFence.com to learn more. Invisible Fence brand. Surround your pets with care.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.